Welcome everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Rainer, this is Rainier Books. It is time for a weekly wrap-up for the Mishmash, and I actually wonder if this is the right format to do a video of my weekly reading, if it's really that interesting to the YouTube audience out there, because I realize that almost all the other videos that I do get more views than just a weekly Mishmash or wrap-up or whatever I might call it. But I do one anyway, and I will do more and see and think about how that works in the future. I have finished one book last week, and this was my 11th read of 2023, and this is, I have to read the title here because it has a long title, Tokyo Vice, an American reporter on the police beat in Japan by Jake Adelstein. This was published in 2009 already by Pantheon Books in New York, and it was a TV series. It is a TV series, a TV show on HBO, the same title, Tokyo Vice, without the second title. And I have to say that the TV series is quite a bit different from the book. Usually or very often you see that really people cling to the book that a TV series is based on. I know many cases of that. I know a few cases where that is not the case, and Tokyo Vice is one of them, because this book is really different. It is in the tone Jake Adelstein, for you who don't know that, because I have talked about it earlier about this book. Jake Adelstein is an American journalist, a young journalist. He came to Japan because he was fascinated by Japanese culture. He came to Japan, I think, in the 1990s. He studied the language. He worked as an English teacher and as a Swedish massage specialist. And then he studied Japanese to become a reporter at the Yomiuri. The Yomiuri is the greatest newspaper, the biggest newspaper in the world, I think, with a daily distribution of 30 million copies at the time. So Jake Adelstein becomes this reporter, this police reporter. He's the first gaijin, the first foreigner to work there as a reporter, and he meets a lot of prejudices against foreigners in Japan. And he works on the crime beat, he works on the vice beat. That means he works towards or reporting about the sex industry, which apparently is big in Japan, to quote a song that is also by a German group actually called Alphaville many years ago. But so this book is very interesting to read. I love to read it about the Yakuza, about the organized crime in Japan. But there is some flaws in the book that I really don't like. Jake Adelstein, this guy is kind of a narcissist. He loves himself a lot. And he does things that you and I maybe won't do. He's working the police beat, but he's also, in order to get information, maybe this is a cultural thing, I don't know. He says it's a cultural thing. It's totally normal, that was totally normal, at least in the 1990s or the 2000s. If you work as a man in Japan, in Tokyo, after work, you go into a so-called hostess club and you get sort of spoiled by young Japanese women in different kinds. No prostitution, but they would sort of give you some sort of services and talk to you, maybe sometimes lightly dressed only. But he also meets prostitutes and actually gets a service from them in order to get information. And this is something that I really, I was disturbed by that actually. Maybe I'm too prude for that one, for that thing. I will do a single review about the book because I love Japan, as you know, and I love Tokyo, so I will get more into the book in a single review. The second book that I'm listening to it, I have the hard copy here, but I'm listening to it right now when I go to the gym. This is Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver, a former winner of the Women's Prize. This is nominated for the Women's Prize on the long list of 2023. Demon Copperhead has close proximity to the name of David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, a classical novel from England from the 19th century. But this is like David Copperfield in the 21st century. It is in Virginia in the United States. It is in Appalachia, in the very poor, rural, mountainous area of the United States where people are very poor. Well, OxyContin. I talked about OxyContin in my review of Patrick Radden Keefe's book Empire of Pain, where OxyContin reaped hundreds, if not thousands, of lives and people's lives by addiction and by damaging families. This is a book about a young boy growing up there in the mountains of Appalachia and his life. And I'm almost half into it. I don't want to say much more other than it's a very great read so far, a very great listen, the audiobook version by Charlie Thurston. I have started reading my next crime novel, and this is Devil House by John Darnielle. You know that I read The Maid by Nita Prose, and I did a single review about that one as well. And this one is also a novel that is nominated for the Edgar Awards for Best Novel of the Year by the Crime Writer Association of America, the Edgar Award, maybe to John Darnielle, about an author who is the narrator of this book, who is a crime writer. He writes true crime, and he moves into a house in Milpitas, California. I have to look up what that is and how that place looks like. And this house was empty since 1986, and he moves in, I think, in 2009 or something. And this house has been a crime scene all those years ago, a horrible crime scene of satanic young people who committed a horrible crime there. And very likely something bad is going to happen. It's always when they write novels about houses. My future plans in this channel to read. What do I want to read after John Darnielle and after Barbara Kingsolver? If nothing special happens, and there happens something, because I have to go to the library. I have to deliver Cocoon back to the library, and I have to deliver some other books back to the library. But I will pick up 2 more books at the library. And this will be Als wir träumten, While We Were Dreaming, the original version of Clemens Meyer's first novel from 2006 in the German version, and another novel that is nominated for the Edgar Awards has been announced to me to be able to pick it up in the library. So, but what I have here, I have 6 books that I want to read, at least in the first half of the year. Because I really feel for them right now. Maybe that changes, I don't know. It's always a little bit like Sarah from Hardcover Hearts always said, depending on my mood, it can change. This is Caroline Elkins, The History of Violence, Legacy of Violence, a history of the British Empire, which is enormously well-researched, about 800 pages long. I think this is the basis for colonialism, the history of the British Empire, and what the British Empire sort of has caused for damage in the world. It's enormous damage that the British Empire has caused in the world. I want to read the National Book Award winner, The Rabbit Hutch by Tess Gunty, in this first half of the year. I want to definitely, oh my gosh. I want to definitely read Jonathan Coe's portrait of England, Bournville, where the chocolate factory Cadbury was at home, or is at home. I want to read Mohamed Mbougar Sarr's Prix Goncourt winner, Die geheimste Erinnerung der Menschen, which is now scheduled for translation into English on September 26th. It will be published in the UK at least. The Secret Memory of Mankind by Mohamed Mbougar Sarr, about a Senegalese writer living in France, researching into the life of a Senegalese writer who was very famous and very mysterious in the 1930s. I have received a book from a bookshop. I bought a book, one of the few books that I want to buy this year. I have ordered 2 more, I guess. But this is Fire Rush by Jacqueline Crooks, and this is nominated for the Women's Prize as well. It's on the shortlist. I love the cover art, and Caleb Azuma Nelson writes beautiful, and Bernardine Evaristo says one to watch. So this sounds definitely interesting, about a black woman's life in London, England, a city that I love. And the last one, last but not least, I have to study more Japan. I have to study Japanese at some point, because next time I will travel to Japan, if there is a next time, I want to speak a little phrases at least, and not only thank you, arigato or something like that, but a little bit more. So to understand Japan, Tokyo Vice by Jake Adelstein. To understand a little even more, I want to read more about the history of Japan from 1850 to the present. In Search of a Nation, Japan's Story by Christopher Harden. Harding. I have this beautiful penguin book here. If you want to read any of the 6 or together with me, please say so. I'm very open for buddy reads. I haven't done buddy reads in a long while now. And I also would like to do, you fellow YouTubers who watch, I also want to do cooperation videos. That's something I'm very interested in, that we have talks about books, we'll read a book together, we talk about it, or even maybe try to reach the author. That's all I had to say for today. The next video will be a tag video because I have to do tag videos and then Jack Adelstein's review, the Jack Adelstein review from Tokyo Vice. Thanks very much for watching the video. I hope you have a great time out there. Be safe and read and have a cozy time. Bye!